Who should be the MVP? There's been a lot of different discussions over multiple players about who the MVP for this NFL season should be. There's a lot of great arguments for different players like Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and even Joe Burrow, I think. So today I'm going to be talking about my top 5 MVP candidates and kind of what do we consider the most valuable player? Is it the best player on the best team? Or is it just truly the best player in the league based off individual performance? That's kind of what we're going to be talking about today. So right now I'm going to be listing my top 5 MVP candidates, and I'm going to go from 5th to 1st and kind of explaining how they could win the MVP and why they should win the MVP, or at least have an argument. So from 5th to 1st, 5th I have Jared Goff, 4th Joe Burrow, 3rd Lamar Jackson, 2nd Saquon Barkley, and 1st Josh Allen. So first with Jared Goff, the Lions have kind of been having arguably their greatest season in franchise history so far. They're 12-2, and Jared Goff has kind of been at the center of that. Right now, he's 2nd in the league in passer rating with 110.4, which is the highest of his career. He's 4th in passing touchdowns, and then in yards, he has 3,700 passing yards, which is 2nd in the league. So he's been playing really well in terms of individual performance, which I guess the MVP is kind of a combination of team record and individual performance, which Jared Goff has all of it because they have a 12-2 record and he has great stats so far this season. He also has 71.4 completion percentage, which is 2nd in the league. So in pretty much every passing category, he's either top 5 or top 2 or 3. So far, he's actually individually, in terms of performance, has been one of the best quarterbacks in the league. So I think in terms of how he can win the MVP, if the Lions win out, I think they kind of have to win out, or at least finish around 13-4 or something like that. And then, I mean, if he cannot turn the ball over, I think he would have to get a little bit of help. First of all, he'd have to play really clean, so no more turnover. He already has 10 interceptions, which I guess kind of hurts him. But right now he's projected to finish with 4,500 yards, 36 touchdowns, and 12 picks. If he can stay at 10 picks, like not throw one for the rest of the year, and he gets into the high 30s in passing yards and 4,600 yards, and I think some other guys would kind of have to fall off a little bit, like Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. So if that does happen, I think that's kind of his path to possibly being the MVP. But I think he has a solid case because, I mean, he has great stats. The team is playing really well, one of the best in the league. So that's kind of Jared Goff's argument. Then Joe Burrow. With Joe Burrow, it's kind of an interesting argument because you could say that only based off of individual performance, he's been the best quarterback in the NFL. So if you're basing the MVP off of literally just who is the best player, who has played the best this season, it would be Joe Burrow. But the Bengals, as of right now, have a 6-8 record. So, which it's been proven that a lot of the time deciding the MVP, it's team record and individual performance. So that's where it kind of hurts him. But in terms of a path to actually winning it, I think if Cincinnati finishes with a winning record, he could have a fighting chance. It doesn't even matter if they don't make the playoffs. If they finish 9-8, I mean, that would help if they could go and get a wild card spot and maybe win a game. But if they finish with a winning record and he keeps playing the way that he's playing, because right now he leads the league in passing yards. He has nearly 4,000 yards already. Leads the league in passing touchdowns with 36. And in terms of passer rating, he's ranked right now 4th. Or 3rd, my bad. So he's in the top 3 in passer rating. He's either leading the league or he's top 3 in every single passing category. And right now he's on pace to finish with about 4,800 yards, which is crazy. 4,800 yards, 44 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, 107.1 passer rating. Which, if you don't look at anything else, pretty much everyone would agree that that's an MVP season. So, I mean, I think you can really make a good argument. If the Bengals finish 9-8, and he finishes with that stat line, roughly 4,800 yards, 44, maybe even 45 touchdowns, and if he could maybe stay in the single digits with interceptions, so like 9, and then the Bengals have a winning record, possibly in the playoffs, I mean, that's a great argument for winning the MVP. Like, Because even though they won't have the best record, they still have a winning record, which you can definitely make the argument that the only reason they would have a winning record is because of how well Burrow played. So I think that's a great argument that you can have. And I think, again, it would help if guys like Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen kind of fell off a little bit. But I think Joe Burrow should be taken more seriously in terms of the MVP conversation. I think that he has a real chance. And I honestly think that team record is important, but I think individual performance should outweigh the team performance a little more, because it really is who is the best player in the NFL, who has played the best this season, which it would be Joe Burrow. So that's kind of Joe Burrow's argument. Then Lamar Jackson. I mean, Lamar Jackson, really you're just depending on how well Josh Allen plays, I think. Because we know that Josh Allen is the front runner so far. And I think if Josh Allen kind of falls off a little bit and Lamar Jackson keeps putting up greats, I mean, he leads the league in passer rating, 120.7, which I think might be the highest in like the last couple years. Only 34 touchdowns to only 3 interceptions, 3,500 passing yards. And then the Baltimore Ravens are actually playing pretty well. I think they're 9-5, 9-4, something like that right now. So if the Baltimore Ravens can finish strong, and Lamar Jackson just keeps playing the way he's playing, I think there's a real shot that he wins it. But yeah, he just has to keep playing the way he's playing. If he can get to like 40 touchdown passes and like only 4 interceptions, I mean, he might even be a lock. And then if Josh Allen falls off just a little bit, I think he can jump in and win that. So it's pretty plain and simple for Lamar Jackson. It's if Josh Allen falls off a little bit and Lamar Jackson keeps playing the way he's playing, I think he'll win it. And then second, me personally, I think it's Saquon Barkley. I think he should really be at the top of the conversation for MVP. Because, I mean, he's on pace to possibly break the single season record. He already has nearly 1,700 rushing yards with, only 14 games into the year. So, you're talking about him possibly surpassing 2,000 rushing yards. And he'll have roughly 13 touchdowns. That's kind of projected stats. You rarely see a running back surpass 2,000 yards. And the Eagles are really good right now, 12-2. And I think you could legitimately say that he's the most important player on that team. Like, he is the most valuable player. So, I think honestly, because he's not a quarterback, he probably won't win it. But I think he should be right up there. Anytime a running back surpasses 2,000 yards, they should immediately be in the MVP conversation. And I think he really is elevating the Eagles. Like, he is a valuable player. So for him to win, I think Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen would both kind of have to fall off a little bit, and then he'd have to have like a couple great games to end the season. Like, if he breaks the record, I think you should seriously have that conversation about giving it to him. And then finally, who I think is the front runner, which I think we all know right now is the front runner, Josh Allen. The only thing is, in terms of his stats, they're actually kind of okay, I guess. Like, in terms of an MVP, they're not great, like eye-popping stats. But it's been more about his efficiency. He's been a lot more efficient. Like, his passer rating is much higher. I think it's close to kind of how he played in 2020. And the Bills are playing really well this season. They seem like legit contenders. But then it's also just watching the game. Like, I guess stats don't necessarily tell the whole story. Because when you watch Josh Allen play, you can tell that he's the most valuable player on that team and that he's one of the best players in the league. And, you also have to consider his rushing stats, because I think this season he has 11 rushing touchdowns this season. So really he has 36 total touchdowns, only 5 interceptions, and he has nearly 4,000 total yards. The Bills are playing really well. They seem like Super Bowl contenders. I think that's the main thing. Like, everybody that watches him play can see that he is the best player in the league. They can see how much of an impact that he makes, which I think really kind of sums up the most valuable player. Like, when you actually watch the games and see what he does for the team. So for him to win it, I think, really right now it's his to lose. If he keeps playing well, the Bills keep winning, then I think it's a lock for him to win it. So, pretty simple path for Josh Allen. In terms of just predicting who I think will end up winning it, I think it will be Josh Allen, because I think they've kind of hit their stride. And I feel like they're going to keep playing the way that they're playing, and he's going to lock it up. And I actually think that they're going to make a deep playoff run this time. I really think that this might be the year for Buffalo, because they just seem like such a complete team right now. So, I mean, obviously, if they can get to like the conference championship, he keeps playing the way he's playing, I think it's a lock. So, those are my top 5 MVP candidates right now. Josh Allen, Saquon Barkley, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, and Jared Goff. I mean, I think they all have a chance, but really, I think the main guys are Josh Allen, Saquon Barkley, and Lamar Jackson. In terms of realistically who it seems like is going to win it. Joe Burrow and Jared Goff are kind of like the wild cards right now that, depending on other circumstances, they could win it. But those are my candidates, and that's it for today's video. I'm going to be putting out more videos kind of similar to this. I think I'll do the same thing for like Offense Player of the Year, Defense Player of the Year, and also like playoff predictions, Super Bowl predictions, all that kind of stuff. So thanks for watching. Comment below any different ideas that you have for different videos that I could do, and see you guys later.